Hello, everybody. Konbanwa, minasan. Good evening, and we are going to get into our usual Clow card fortune telling. I'll also share some personal stories and maybe a bit of reading regarding some of the material I've learned. But in the meantime, if any of you do come on live and you would wish for your fortune to be told, as the rules I've laid out state, all you have to do is comment your gender, your zodiac sign, and if you'd like a general fortune, romance fortune, or career wise. Now, I will do a fortune of each, and then I will start talking about other things while we wait for anybody else who is interested in having their fortune told. Anyways, starting right off, we'll shuffle these a bit more. Okay. Get these nice and shuffled. That way they're not giving me the same cards, hopefully. But if they do, that could be a good thing. Some cases I've actually gotten very understandable cards lately. All right, so we will start with the general future, which we will do 10 cards. Oh, we'll do five, first five, and then. Okay. Oh, these are all very good cards for the general future. Okay, starting off, we have the fiery card. Very good card because it means there's going to be a lot of passion. It's going to be very exciting. Things are heating up, we'll say. The lock means I'm starting to lock down um, the ideas that I have in mind, and I'm starting to really get it finally put it into place where it would need to be. The song, so good things are going to come with my music career, basically. Very good card, especially being an artist. That's a good card to get. Love, oh, things with love are going to start heating up as well. So, music career and love are going to both start heating up. Things are going to be locked down, which is good, especially when it comes to those two things. You'd want them to be locked down. Um, they're going to be heating up. And as I keep drawing this card, the snow, it means that things are actually going to go into a new season. So all of these cards are very good so far. Especially because the thing is, it's the combination of the cards that I get a reading of what they're trying to tell me. And we will do another five cards for general future. Oh, great Clow cards of Clow read. Please reveal to me any messages that you have from the inner being or the universal consciousness of infinite intelligence and release. Oh, these are all really good. Okay, okay. So, next we got the hope. The hope is a very good card. That means be hopeful of good things coming, especially with the other cards. Be hopeful for all the good that is coming. Um, Bubbles, meaning something very bubbly and friendly and wonderful is happening, and I could agree, even from my experiences today, that's true. The next is the light card, which is a very, very good card. The light symbolizes like shining at your brightest, and it's basically like finding your own inner life. You unlock your own inner light. You unlock like your true full potential. So that's a really wonderful card to get. The sword symbolizes power, strength, and pushing through perseverance, persistence in the assumption. And that's just wonderful. So that's a very good card to have. And then the fly. Oh, so I'm going to be going places. I'm going to be flying. I'm also, it could be symbolizing like consciousness, flying to new elevations, new heights, and exploring, expanding awareness. So all of these are really good cards for a general future. Okay. Next, we will draw. I'm thinking we will do career first, and then we'll do romance. Okay, so career, reveal to me the move, the wave. Hmm, interesting. it kind of does answer my own question because I was wondering what to do with certain regards regarding my career. So this is actually very, very informative. The move said that I'm going to be making big moves, or big movement is going to be happening around me. Um, Waves symbolizes like going with the flow, going with the current of things, which actually makes sense with the next card, the nothing. Now, this card could have a good or a bad representation depending on what it's paired with. In this case, because we have the move, because we have the wave, like go with the flow, it's actually saying I don't need to do anything. I don't need to worry. Like that things are naturally moving their own course and to go with the flow, the waves. Let them ride the waves out. Next, I got the twin, meaning that there is still that inner battle of the old self versus the new self, which is very true. That's still going on with the career. But at the same time, because of the time card, time is a very wonderful card in this case because that combined with all the others basically means that it's only a matter of time. That time has to run its natural course, but that time in itself um, will make the moves. It will determine the ending result of the battle with the twins. And by going with the flow and doing nothing other than what I should do, things will run their own natural course as far as my career, which is very good. All right, let's see how romance is looking. Reveal to me a sign regarding romance. Oh, the Libra, okay, it's about finding balance. The Return, oh, okay, very interesting. The Mist, oh, okay. Oh, the Sakura, and the Little. Oh, okay. These are all very, very good cards, actually. Now, what the Libra is telling me is the key thing with my romantic love interest is to find a balance where I think about it, but don't overthink about it. Um, that is why there is the Return. Now, the Return symbolizes like going back to the original roots of why I had this desire for this person in the first place, but also, like I said, maintaining balance as a result. The Mist says that there has been a bit of confusion about certain things, but it's not as big as I made it out to seem to be. It's actually a lot easier than it will be in the end result. And that's why I got the little card next. It's basically like, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Like, it's a very simple problem, and the mist will clear. Out of the haze, the truth will be revealed. And I also got the Sakura card, which basically means like awakening your final power. It also means like this person will have all the great qualities of Sakura. So, and I definitely do agree. She is wonderful. She has all those wonderful qualities. So, all very, very accurate. Wonderful reading today. So, if anybody else does come on during this program, I will read you your fortunes as well. But in the meantime, if there is nobody else who wants to have their fortune read, um, I will just work on telling some stories and maybe reading a bit of Neville Goddard in the meantime, just to enlighten people with what I've learned as a result of things. So, yeah, what I can say is this. I can say, very interestingly enough, that with my special person, the woman that I love most, I actually got the request from her today. And because it's the one I love most and they're actually asking this of me, it's like, of course I would do it. I'd do anything for somebody that I love that much. And since it's such a simple request, the least I can do is honor it and do as they ask. Now, they are actually dropping a major music video for the single on July 8th. And the audio track is already available on YouTube. I've already seen a preview of the video. It's wonderful. Um, I'm so grateful they shared it with me. But they asked me to just encourage people, like, especially because the song is a mix of English and Japanese. Like, it's got a very upbeat, catchy, worldly rhythm that, like, everybody all around the world, if they speak English or Japanese, could really vibe with it and they'd probably like it. The song is called Mystic World by Hitomi-chan, Hitomi Shimatani. So look up Mystic World, Hitomi Shimatani, and definitely check it out. It's a great song. In my personal opinion, I actually think it's the best Japanese pop song to come out this year, and it will definitely be the awesome hit of the summer. There's been a few other songs like that coming out. My own personal song with the SOS Brigade Quartet, Sakura Green Tea. Definitely check that out because the SOS Brigade Quartet's album is dropping tomorrow, Tanabata, the Japanese holiday. So happy Tanabata to everybody in Japan because it would already be the 7th there. And tomorrow I will celebrate Tanabata and I will show you my bamboo tree with my Tanzakus as like a special little treat. And yeah, there was also that wonderful song that came out at the start of the month I would recommend to people too, called Summer Again by the great Japanese pop singer Ayumi Hamasaki. It's pretty good, it's catchy. I'll definitely give out positive energy because I'm a big fan of them. I am their greatest hits as well, as you could see. But in my personal opinion, and this is not even to discredit Ayumi, I think Mystic World is way better. Definitely go check out Mystic World. And you know what? I can relate to this song. I've watched this song unfold ever since he told me started recording it. I've seen her recording it. I've seen previews of the video. I heard it before anybody else. I even pre-ordered the single. So, and it's marvelous how I am getting closer and closer to Hitomi every day. It's really a blessing that I'm grateful for, and I'm very happy. I've also become great friends with Shihara Minori to the point that she always hearts all my comments. It's great. And, the fact that she made great songs like Final Moratorium and Zone/Alone. So many other great songs. I could go on. And the fact that she plays Yuki Nagato in The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It's just wonderful. Very cool. Suteki. Anyways, yeah, definitely check out Mystic World though, because I've learned by studying Neville Goddard and the law of attraction and manifesting with many different coaches and teachers that we indeed do live in a mystic world. And it's a wonderful, like, marvelous concept. Plus, me and Hitomi are actually in the process of making a song together called Subarashi. So when I have more details about that, I will let you know. But that will be a great song as well. But yeah, I was so touched and amazed when actually earlier today I discovered that they had actually requested for me to share that song, like to post it on social media and encourage people to check it out. And I mean, especially because it was passed along through her management, but I'm doing it for her ultimately, right? But they did seem to be really happy with the idea that I apologize for that. That's my stepdad yelling at the dogs in the background. No control over that, people. But yeah, as I was saying, it's just a wonderful idea because obviously the person I love most, so I would really love to, do anything for them. And if that's what they ask of me, I have no problem sharing with it. So I definitely encourage you all, go check out Mystic World. Once again, apologize for all the yelling. I really wish I could like quiet this place down, but like I'd have to really part the Red Seas and reach the level of awareness that like Moses and Jesus had to be able to do that. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so I'm going to actually read a part of Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret. And this actually was the first book I had ever read of his. And what's amazing about this book is it's very short, but it really is a treasure. In fact, I can honestly tell you, and some people might be amazed to know this, but believe it or not, I've actually already read this book about over 6 times now. I'm just trying to find the one part that you'd think with as many times I read this, I would know exactly where to find it. Let's see. And like I said, if anybody does come on live, please feel free to comment gender, zodiac sign, and what you would like a fortune regarding. Hmm. 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 Well, I'm honestly having a bit of trouble finding where this part was in feeling is the secret. Hmm. 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 You know what? I am honestly having trouble figuring out where in the book I remember reading this part. But I do actually have the quote of it somewhere. So let me just. I will go to where I had it saved and I'll just read it from that. Because that way, if anybody does want to have their fortune told, there will be plenty of time for that. And speaking of, I will share this on my social media. That way, if anybody else is interested, they can do it. But I look for this quote. Okay. Since we got a bit of time to kill, I'm not really rushing. Um. Oh, okay. Found it. Okay. The quote from Goddard is actually this. He says, "You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it." In fact, I was listening to a lecture earlier where he was talking about how before we ever were, our awareness existed and our awareness experienced everything that we will ever experience. So, for us to have a desire, for us to even be drawn towards certain things, there's a significance to it. There's a special purpose behind it all with the divine universal consciousness of infinite intelligence. Like we're all connected. The entire world is the version that we view it from, our perception pushed out. And it's like all you really have to do understanding that is change yourself from within. Now that might sound hard to do in some way, but and it's not simple either. It's I would say it's neither difficult nor simple. It is equal in both regards because you do have to discipline yourself, but at the same time, if you have a strong enough desire to be different than you are, then you will do anything to be different. And you will start to believe that you're different. And I noticed this today because I actually had a walk with my addictions counselor regarding like we talked about many things. I told him about all the good things going on in my life, and he wanted to know how things were going. So I did explain to him that I had struggles with smoking cigarettes still and cigars at times, tobacco use, right? But for the most part, I had actually been able to kick everything else in regards to like smoking marijuana. July 8th would be 6 months sober. And alcohol, I hardly drink anymore. Plus, I put a limit on that I only drink once in a while, and only if it's Japanese alcohol, such as like Sapporo beer, Asahi beer, um, sake, shoju, those kind of things. So there is a limit to on that. With smoking, though, I've gotten better and better, and I continue to get better because I would actually say that's probably the hardest one to quit of all of them. But I am getting better. And I mean, I also had the bad habit of biting my nails a lot, and I still get tempted at times. Like, you'll see me sometimes, even if you watch these shows, or I'll be tempted to do it. Oddly enough, he told me he does the same thing, but I never actually bite the nails anymore, which means I've broken the actual action of doing it. I get reminded, but it's like I've retrained myself. Oh, yeah, I feel that nail there. No, I can't bite that. Let it grow. And that's how I've retrained myself. So you can change yourself from within. But as we were talking, by the end of the conversation, everything was good. I was explaining how, like, he told me and how to motivate me most. And he said, you're a completely different person than when I first started helping you with addiction counseling. And he said, like, you're still the same Chris like you were since you were a kid. I could definitely see that. Like, there's a lot of character traits that have been with you ever since you were small, but based on what I had told him, right? But he said you grown so much though in such a short time, like, and it gives me hope. He said, as a counselor, he said his job was very trying, and at times he wondered, oh, could people change? Is there hope for anybody to change? But he said, like, he appreciated that I actually gave him hope, that by my change of attitude, by no longer being the angry, aggressive, intense person I used to be. And I really did. I wasn't always as light and free spirited and bubbly as I am now. I'm a lot more different in that regard. But see, that took time. That took effort on my part too, and discipline to not dwell on myself. I mean, we're human. We all go through things. But the trick is not to let it get you down. If you have a moment or you have a time period where you really are down in the dumps about something, the simple regard to overcome it, though, in a controlled environment, a controlled atmosphere, like, don't suppress it because that leads to depression if you're bottling up emotion. That just doesn't work. But let it run its course. And then the moment that you can kind of stop yourself, the moment you realize, like, no, I shouldn't be doing this. I need to think of the good things. I need to think of what I love. I need to think about how the version of me would really react in this situation that I would want to be. And yeah, I wouldn't let these things get me down. And I know the people that love me wouldn't want to let these things get me down either. So it's about disciplining yourself to snap out of it when you can. Now, you will go through moods, but it's your predominant moods every day that will run the course of what's to come and what you think about and feel about. So if you're keeping yourself in a good mood, you're keeping yourself in a positive vibration, as they call it in the law of attraction and manifestation community, and you're thinking good thoughts, you're taking care of yourself, like you're eating right, you're doing all the necessary sort of things in that regard, things will run their own course. And everybody always says too that you need to take action. Now, here's the thing. This has kind of been a confusing thing among teachers and coaches in the community, and I guess it really is a community at this point because I've seen so many people with different perspectives and opinions of things, and they're going through things, so they might not see it from the same perspective as me. But what I have learned and realized too, for the most part, is that when you start to think and feel from the person who has it, then you will naturally start to take the necessary action. You don't have to sit there and think, oh, I need to take some massive action that you have no way of comprehending what to do. Sometimes you won't know what to do. Sometimes you will have to just trust that it is already done and have faith in it already being an accomplished fact before you will see the doors. Think of it as you're going down a staircase into the dark and there's no lights. Now, usually, if you get to a certain place going down this staircase, that you'll be able to feel for a light switch and you could turn the lights on. But, when you're going down a staircase to, let's say, your basement, in some cases, people who have basements would understand what I'm getting at. You know where the light switch is, but if it's pitch black dark, you're not going to see it right away. You're going to have to just trust. That's what faith is, really. Trust in what is unseen and believe it to be there already. And as you get to the certain point, you will feel for it and you will find it. Now, faith, what I have really come to discover after studying this, and especially after the revelations I was experiencing last night, faith itself is actually the key component of it all. Regardless of what any teacher or coach you follow says, they've all agreed on this, and there is a reason for that. The reason is, if you could put faith in religion, if you could put faith in yourself, if you could put faith in all these other things, then faith is necessary with this the same way it would be with anything. In fact, this is actually the embodiment of faith in itself, because faith really is believing what you have yet to see. Now, often we are afraid of things we don't see. We're assuming the worst, so we're afraid of what could happen, what might happen. However, here's the thing. You can assume the best or assume the worst. If you assume the worst, you're operating from the frequency of fear. If you assume the best, then you're operating from the frequency of faith, and you have hope. Hope naturally implies the expectation of the desire's fulfillment, which is cherished with anticipation. So, by that standard, we all have the choice. Everything is going to run its own natural course. We are all meant to live the lives we do. But depending on how we think and feel in every situation, it basically divides reality into multiple universes and subsections of how the end result could be. Think of it like this. You're making a movie. You already have the general script written out. You know exactly how the movie's going to end. But as you're filming, as you're shooting it, and you're directing it along the way, you might get an idea and think, oh, this would be way better. David Lynch, a great director, he did Eraserhead, The Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, the original Dune, which is way better than that new crappy remake. Don't even watch the remake if you're a David Lynch fan. It's an insult. But the Twin Peaks show, that was very good. Lost Highway, Wild at Heart, he did so many great movies. So, but the point is, he even explained this that as a director, he would have the general idea of what he would make the movie out to be. But as he would go along, he would experiment. He would let new ideas come to him to decide, oh, let's try this. This could work better than what I originally had in mind. And that's improvising. But with improvisation, you're still following the general guide of how it might go. Whatever is more natural will happen naturally. And that's the way the universe flows. It's like a David Lynch movie. You might improvise and change certain ideas along the way, but at the end result, he still sticks with the main ending generally that he decided to be. Now, in the case of Blue Velvet, just to play devil's advocate here, he actually did have a totally different ending than how the movie ended. But that's because while making the movie, it had such a positive experience working with the actors, making the movie, really fulfilling the parts of how he imagined the movie to be. And he did change many things along the way, but it was such a good, fulfilling experience that I think the reason he changed the movie is to reflect the overall experience of making it, to make it a more happy, harmonious ending than what was originally intended, which is actually a very good thing. Now, I've noticed that, oddly enough, I would say when he's making a movie and it goes well, it ends the best way it could possibly end. When he's gone through struggles making the movie or things weren't exactly satisfactory filming it, I've noticed that's when they have the darker endings as far as being a movie. It's very fascinating in that sense. If you actually look at David Lynch's movies, it would be a perfect example of how the universe ends. You start from point A. Okay, you have the general idea. In between point A and point C, there's all this stuff going on. If it's really good, then it's probably going to have a really good ending at the end of point C. If not, then it's probably going to have a really dark, terrible ending, and that's life. That's all. Like that's one of the best analogies I have ever thought of because I'm like, you know what? Life is like a David Lynch movie in that regard. He would be like a director in this movie because it really does flow with its own sort of natural rhythm. Now, we are nearing the end of our program. We didn't have anybody come online for Clow card fortune telling readings other than myself today, but hopefully there will be more in the future. And if you're interested after watching this video, feel free to comment gender, zodiac, and if you'd like a general future, romantic, or career reading, and I will get to them when I make the next video. Anybody who does watch these in the future too, don't feel embarrassed if you were late to make it to the presentation. If you want a reading, just comment. And then if I don't get to it in this one because our time runs out, I will do it right at the start of the next episode. And I will be doing this every night at 7 p.m. Eastern, unless something comes up in which I will switch the time slot from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I really did say everything I intended to say, so we might actually end this one a little earlier tonight, but hey, better to keep it short and sweet, right? And also, I will continue to assume the best for all of you as my audience members, all of my fans who check out all of my music. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for it. I thank you for all your support, and I will assume the best for you and hope that you shall assume the best for me in return. Anyways, take care. Arigato gozaimasu, tomodachi. Oyasumi nasai, minasan. Ja ne.